Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel for another video. Today we're going to be doing a video on Assetto Corsa Competizione on the PS4. So I have had quite a bit of playtime on this game now, and it is really growing on me, I have to say. I have got around the frame rate issue a bit. I think it was my monitor causing things that were making it. I didn't have the settings right really. I've done a lot of research and we've come to some new settings. So for this video I'm going to be giving you some early verdict on the game. For PlayStation 4 and a little preview of just how fast the AI are on this game and whether you can have good racing against them in terms of their speed. We're going to maybe look at their racecraft in a separate video, but there is some good examples on this video that the AI is actually pretty enjoyable to race against. So first race, we're starting from the back of the grid. 100% AI for speed, 95% aggression. See, going through the turn 1 all seems fairly good, and one thing I do love about Assetto Corsa Competizione is the spotter and the radar that is in the correct place. I have to say this because the amount of people that comment when we're playing Gran Turismo Sport that we should have the radar on. Well, the reason I don't use the radar is because putting the radar right down on the bottom of the screen is pretty irrelevant to me because I'm not looking there. My eye line is looking ahead of myself, and on this game they get the radar in the correct position. You'll see right in the middle of the screen, just above center, and it gives you a very good indication of where the cars are. So that is one thing that I really do like, and the added spotter on the game. I hope Gran Turismo really do listen to this as we go for a little bit of a dive up the inside there. Couldn't really make that work. You can see the AI gave us plenty of space and actually held on to that position. So yeah, starting from the back of the grid against 100% AI, I am actually reasonably up to speed on this track at Silverstone. I have done a time trial for the special event. I am currently sitting in the top 10 for that time trial, so quite interesting. And that was with using the aggressive setup, not even using a proper custom setup, which I will have a go at doing again soon. I think I might be able to get right close to the top of that leaderboard. It could be very interesting. Like, Assetto Corsa is obviously a game that I've enjoyed for a long time on the original Assetto Corsa. Haven't played much of the sequel because on my PC it struggles when I stream it, so haven't really done too much. But I am starting to get used to the 30 FPS, and like I said, with the changes I've made to my monitor, it's really it's really helping me out, and I think it's actually gonna make when I stream the PC games and I notice like slight micro stutters when I'm streaming games. I think that is caused because obviously I'm streaming and the CPU's on the load. I think it's gonna help me out, so I'm actually looking forward to trying ACC again on the PC and seeing if we can stream that at slightly higher quality. But yeah, overall so far I am definitely warming to ACC on PS4. The frame rate is a bit of an issue, I'm not gonna lie. It would be nice if it was a little bit better as we fast forward some of this action. As you can just see how fast I'm driving quite solid here in this race, I have to say. You know, my pace is not at all terrible. Like I said, we got in the top 10 stars and we're not making as fast progress as I thought I would, but then again, this is 100% AI, so you'd expect it to be a bit of a challenge, and I can tell you it's 100% a challenge. I think that this game offers AI that will be able to challenge anyone. I think that even some of the fastest drivers, if you set them to 100% AI, the top drivers in that section, so P1 in this race for example, will still be able to give you a bit of a challenge, and that is really nice to see. And you know, we'll wait and see how fast I can get once I'm fully up to speed, how much of a challenge they provide. But racing from the back is actually really enjoyable, I have to say. As we missed the apex by a mile there, I was having trouble when following close to another car to get the apex on in that corner. Now there is a little bit of dirty air on ACC, I believe. You do feel slight loss of aero, but it's nothing like what you'd get in like GT with the high aero. You can still follow cars, you just get a little bit of a slight loss of grip that you notice, mainly on acceleration I find, but you can 100% follow and you don't get an exaggerated slipstream effect. So one thing, yeah, the slipstream is definitely more to my liking on this game. The following another car is easy enough, and yeah, I absolutely love the handling on this game, I have to say. The more I'm playing it, the more I'm wanting to play the PC version again and do a few more streams on that. Obviously the GT Sport content will continue, we're not just going to bail out of GT Sport. I still love playing Gran Turismo Sport, but I think it's nice to have a bit of variety for videos and streams on the channel, varying between iRacing, Assetto Corsa and GT Sport, mixing it up a bit and keeping it fresh for myself, because I am actually enjoying the PS4 version, so yeah, God knows what's going to happen when I go on the PC version after playing this, because with higher frame rate, again, I'm going to really enjoy this. We go for a dive down the inside there, and you see that the NSX manages to hold that outside line. They're actually really enjoyable to race against, I have to say. Not only are they fast, they're enjoyable. They seem very clever. Probably the best AI I have ever raced on console. Now on the PC version, I haven't really tested them out on that to see if they're equal to this. You know, sometimes the PC version has slightly better AI because they're able to program it in a bit better. I don't know. I haven't really tested it on the PC version, if I'm brutally honest. But yeah, on PS4, I don't think there's a game that's come close to this for AI for me. Project Cars 2 was okay, but when I was racing this race, and we're going to show you another race after, I genuinely did not feel I was in a race against the AI. This felt like a race against real people. The movements of the cars, the way the cars react on corners, the way they attack the corners, it doesn't look like you're racing AI. Normally, if you go and play Project Cars 2, for example, and you race the AI, the movements, you can instantly tell that they're not humans, they're AI controlled cars. But in this, I believe if someone, say I was streaming this race and no one knew that this was an AI race, I don't think you'd be able to tell. I genuinely think that you'd be thinking this was a multiplayer race. With regards to multiplayer, haven't really been able to test that out because yeah, the servers are still bugged. I'm getting that blue screen a lot. It was less common yesterday when I went on there just to check, but it's still happening, so not really ventured into the online section. I think I'll do that on a separate video when we have got the online section working 100%. Now at the moment my stats are building up. I've just got to do a few of the tracks, just get the 3 stars, which is fairly simple, and then we've just got to build up our safety rating now, because I've not done much racing like this, but this really does help build your safety rating up as we follow very closely to NSX. So I was going to have a little look down the inside there as he has a little twitch mid corner, which leaves him a little bit of time, but you can see I managed to follow, and I decided, can we go for a dive into that corner? Decided against that as we're following very closely to that NSX there. Out of this corner into the braking zone, we run a little bit wide there. That is one corner that really does catch you out. You've got to make sure you get the braking right there. You look how much time I lost to that NSX. I've learned that from doing the time trial, obviously, when pushing that a little bit yesterday. Like I said, I didn't push it maximum. I think once I get a setup on that, I can go 3 or 4 attempts quicker at least, which should be really interesting, because I think we'll be close to P1. I believe it's in the EU region. I don't know if it's a worldwide region. I don't know. I would think it's actually probably a worldwide leaderboard in this game. It's getting very close. Now I decided to go for a bit of a savage lunge down the inside, almost breaking on the grass, just about held it. And just look at this AI here. Look how clever this is. He went wider, tucked in underneath, and went around the outside. Now we're running the AI on 95 aggressiveness. I'm wondering how aggressive they would have been in terms of trying to get back past me if I had them a little bit higher for their aggressive state. But yeah, we followed to the end of that race. To the end of this race, you can see managed to pull away from that NSX now with the gap increasing. You can see I was actually catching the cars up in front and started doing some better lap times. He was holding me up a bit, but like I say, you can see that we've not caught right up to them yet, and the leader was absolutely flying again in this race. I think we did 2 races that I'm going to show you here, and the leader was always absolutely flying. So there is a lot of openness for how fast you are, whether you're going to have fun. I think that this game, you can tune this AI to a level that can suit anyone. But yeah, with regards to the AI aggressiveness, it should be very interesting to see if we up that to maybe 100%. Will they go for dives back down on the insides and stuff and hold and squeeze you out a bit more? I'm really interested to try it out. I think we're going to do that in another video. But so far, very impressed. PS4 version, although the frame rates are a slight issue, and I'm going to be brutally honest, the visuals, I'm running the PS4 Pro at 1080p because I'm obviously streaming through an Elgato. It could be better, but it's passable. That is the main thing for me. I'm not going to lie, it's not Gran Turismo Sport for visuals. It's never going to be that good. Gran Turismo Sport puts a lot of their effort into getting the visuals and the smoothness of their gameplay, and it's more of a game that will appeal to the mass because it's not 100% sim. But this game is a little bit more authentic in the way it approaches its racing, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Like I say, I think I've got a really good mixture of games to play at the moment with iRacing, ACC and GT Sport. But overall verdict so far from what I've played on this, I am 100% enjoying this game. I'm finding it a new challenge, and it's actually going to make me want to play the PC version more. So I am tempted, if I can stream the PC version. Next time we stream it, we're going to possibly stream on the PC and see how it runs now that I've altered my monitor settings and I've altered the game settings to get higher frame rate. If I can run the PC version smooth, we may consider joining some form of league on Assetto Corsa in the future to bring some serious racing to the channel on ACC. I think it could be really enjoyable for people to watch, along with the FIA action on GT Sport and then iRacing as well. I just think it's some of the best mixture of racing that you're going to get. GT Sport provides brilliant racing in FIA. Yes, there are issues with penalties and stuff, but there's going to be issues in every single game that you come across. ACC, I think, is better for league racing because I don't know, the competition servers don't seem as functional as maybe the league. The league racing, I think, is where it's at on ACC. And iRacing, yeah, iRacing is just iRacing with the server racing. I love that on iRacing, so really excited to bring that to the channel. But you can see in this race, this was our qualifying lap for race 2. So for this race, I decided to set a qualifying lap to test how fast we would be against some of the runners a little further up the grid. So I've already done the time trial on the special event, which has given me the ability to push the car quite aggressively. One thing I will say, that time trial event I think isn't running optimal track conditions, because I noticed that when I went into a race setting with optimal conditions, there was a lot more grip. Now this lap wasn't particularly strong, a few mistakes. I'm obviously running the vents open more than what I would for a time trial lap. The setup is based more around the qualifying lap, because I've got to do an out lap. And I'm actually on I even did messed up turn 1. I think I did it in 4th gear instead of 5th gear for some reason. But the lap time is pretty similar to what I did in time trial. We'll have a little look as we go the line, but it tells me that in the time trial session, I reckon the track grip is not optimal. It's probably a little bit below that, and you could tell when driving it there was just so much more grip in optimal conditions. That is one thing I love about ACC again. So when we get to doing some league racing, the track conditions will change with the weather and stuff. Could be really interesting for the PC side, and you never know, in the future we might set up our own some endurance races when they do add private lobbies to the PS4. Hopefully there'll be 20-player private lobbies. Let's all hope that is a thing, although all I've seen so far is 15-player lobbies on the PS4 so far. So we managed to get ourselves qualified in P5, 3 or 4 attempts behind P1 with a 57.1. Now I did notice when we did the other qualifying session, I think it was for the other race, and I saw what Pole got. I think they might have got a 56. So yeah, there is clear potential that the top runners are pushing, you know, in terms of AI, are pushing these cars extremely hard. I think the 56s is quite a solid lap if you do that. I think I could actually get into the 56s. I think I did a 57.1 when I did another practice qualifying lap in these conditions. So like I said, I messed that lap up a bit, but still a 57.5, pretty close to what I did in the time trial lap. And you know, we're starting P5, we lose a position off the start. As you see, that the AI manages to hold the outside, and again, it really does help having that radar there. You see where they are, you know where to lift, you've got the spotter telling you. And this is something that I really hope that Gran Turismo will pay attention to, because if Gran Turismo can implement something like this into the next game with the spotter system, with the radar that actually shows you in a correct position, I think it can make such a difference to the race quality. And one thing I do like about Assetto Corsa as well is, when you're racing the AI on other games, you do find that you tend to be a bit overly aggressive and start diving into people, and you know, you don't care about the AI, so you don't treat them like human drivers. However, on this game, you kind of have to, as I have a massive moment there. We're going to possibly get overtaken, though he backs out of that. But yeah, on this game, you can't actually go for that kind of approach to the game, because your driving is constantly being monitored. How safely you drive, how clean you drive, how under control of the car you are, your pace. These are things that are constantly added to your ratings, and your ratings are important to keep you in the competition servers if you want to do them, and also some of the lobbies if people set, you know, especially when private lobbies come, open lobbies, whatever, when these come to the game, and people can set up lobbies that you might need very high settings to join. So you are going to have to keep, you know, you're racing against the AI very clean, and that is something that I think a lot of other games could implement into their racing games, because you know, you find that majority of the time when you're racing these games, you start bashing the AI out the way, you drive into them, like, because you don't care, they're not human. You know, what matters? This game, it matters. You just can't drive like that against them, and I absolutely love that Kunos has done this with their approach to how you do the single player even against the AI. I love that it takes effect to your ratings, so you've always got to be patient, you know, bearing in mind, you know, patient of where cars are and overtaking. And this is probably why they've really concentrated on getting the AI correct, because if you had AI that was quite erratic, then I don't believe you'd be able to have this system, because they'd end up destroying your stats all the time. But on this, I think they've done a good job. Probably, like I said, it's the best game on PS4. PC, I'm not too sure. I haven't really thoroughly tested all the PC games for AI, but on PS4, there is no better racing game for AI. I can tell you that without a shadow of doubt. I think it probably helps because there's only one car. I know that F1 games are okay-ish in terms of the AI, but they have issues with lap times, they have issues with random pitting, they have issues with diving into corners and not really realising you're there sometimes. So yeah, I don't think the F1 games can be compared to the physics, sorry, to the AI involved with this game. I would definitely recommend this game to people who haven't bought it yet. Now, I was at first very skeptical. The frame rate was giving me some headache, as we see. We skip through a bit now. As we're losing a bit of distance, I think I made a mistake to drop me back a bit from that Lamborghini, but you can see we're halfway through this race. We decided to do a 20-minute race in this one, so we're starting lap 5, and you see now doing this corner in 5th gear. And what I did notice was I reduced the vent on the front brakes by, I think, down to 4 when I shouldn't have done for this race, because I thought, short race I can do that, but the front left was starting to overheat, and you see we have a little bit of a moment on the curb. Car becomes a little bit unsettled, and I decide I'm gonna have to drive over the grass here and rejoin the track. And what you'll see is in the mirror that in a lot of games that GTR would have backed out because it would have known that you were off track. Not on the Assetto Corsa. The GTR AI there carries on flat out, and the Mercedes carries on flat out and spots an opportunity to get past me. I try and brake late here, he manages to cut across our front end and take that position, and the Mercedes, for good measure, gives us a little nudge up the rear to say, come on. Absolutely brilliant. I love the AI in this game. This is why I will recommend the game. Yes, the 30 frames per second are a little bit of an issue, but with changes to my monitor, and the reason I found this out was because when I tested it out on my big TV screen, my Sony one, which has got a lot of more processing stuff to make the frame rate smoother. I believe someone was saying when I was watching videos and everything, and someone told me on Twitter, and yeah, it was smoother on my TV. So I decided to mess around with the settings on my BenQ monitor and managed to get it reasonably okay. It's not as good as my TV still in terms of 30 FPS, because this monitor is made more for PC gaming, I believe, and higher frame rates, but it's much more drivable, and I'm really enjoying the game. So I think we're going to be definitely doing more PC and PS4 content for this game, along with the GT Sport and iRacing content. But yeah, getting back to the game, I think that the overall conversion of the game from PC has been actually quite solid. Now, I know a lot I was very skeptical at first because of the frame rate, but I have to tell you, without the changes I made to my monitor, the game was very stuttery. It was almost undrivable. However, with the changes that I've made, it's clearly made a difference in terms of how smooth it's running. So it's actually made it bearable. I would have loved to have had higher frame rate, and I think that PS5 will give us this option with better graphics. I really hope that they do an upgrade for PS5, because it will really make a big difference to this game for your overall enjoyment. It will just make it that little bit smoother, a little bit more enjoyable as we fast forward this action, as we're following behind the Nissan GTR in front of us there. Managed to get quite close to him. I think it was within a few, well, 4 or 5 tenths of him, pushing quite aggressively. As you can see, that little problem I had with the tyres, and this is one thing again, it's like GT in terms of, you've got to be very cautious on the tyres, how hard you push them. You can be very aggressive if you've got a good setup, but you will need to keep an eye on your temperatures, and this is one thing I do like about Assetto Corsa. It gives you all the telemetry. You've got your temperatures there. You start seeing when a tyre is overheating, so you have to take it a little bit easier on that tyre. So front left starts overheating. You can see I wasn't looking at the telemetry at this point, so that front left starts overheating, and we had a little bit of a moment, I think, further on, where I understeered wide into a left-hand corner because I wasn't really paying attention to the tyre telemetry, and that is one thing you need to do on this game. So your downshifting for the rear tyres will affect the temperatures as well. Your aggressive braking is really going to help overheat them tyres, so you have to be cautious and be driving with a lot of thought into your tyres at the same time. Now, if you get a good setup, you can really be aggressive, obviously, but you still need to pay attention to them tyres, because you know they will wear out. I presume, like, I haven't done a really long race, but I'm guessing with looking at the temperatures on here that they will. The more aggressive you are, they're going to really wear them tyres out. With the physics that are involved with this game, the best physics that I've come across really in terms of sim racing, bar maybe R Factor 2, which in my opinion is very, very good for physics. But other than that, I think, especially on console, there's nothing out there that's going to come close. And as in terms of sound effects, this game is absolutely amazing. It sounds so real life, lifelike, that I don't think there's a game that you can compared to really in terms of sound. This game destroys every racing game that I've ever played in terms of the sounds and the immersion that them sounds bring to the game. As we skip through to the end there, you can see I had made that error, lost a bit of time. I'd actually got within half a second of that GTR, but then lost a bit. So yeah, I mean, this is showing you the I'm not the fastest driver on the game, but I believe that I'm of a reasonable standard so far, and I think I can get a lot faster, obviously. But it's showing you that you can have a lot of fun with this AI. That it's there to be raced against, and they will give you good races. So if you're looking for a game where you're not too bothered about online as well, you can definitely have a lot of fun against the AI. Now, in terms of online, we're going to go into a video. I need to get some online racing done in the future on the competition servers, and I will do a review of what I think the online is like, because I'm really interested to get on them servers on the PS4. I need to obviously increase my safety rating now. I think every other stat is completely okay. I've just got to do a few tracks in terms of getting my ratings. As you can see, P1 in that race, look how far ahead he was. That really shows you how much leeway there is in terms of how fast you are and how much you're always going to have someone to race against on this game. But yeah, I hope this video has kind of helped you out in terms of if you've been on the fence, in terms of you want, sometimes a lot of people want to know, are the AI good to race against? Because some people just aren't interested in multiplayer racing, and I get that. And this is why I think this game is actually quite good, because you can race against single player, on single player against the AI and have quite good fun. Now, in terms of the career, might not be the most engrossing career, but I think as long as the racing is entertaining to be involved with, that is the key thing. And then the multiplayer, I think, should be solid. I don't think it's going to be Gran Turismo level. However, I think there will be fun to have once the servers sort themselves out, and also once everyone's got their ratings sorted, and you can put yourself in a lobby of, reasonably clean drivers. We know that clean drivers are on console. We've seen it on GT Sport. There, as long as you have a rating system like this, it should equal solid racing. Let's just wait and see what happens over the next few weeks. Once we can get in the competition servers, I'll probably do some streams on them along with other games, etc. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. Hit that notification button so you don't miss any future videos, and I'll see you all very soon. Thanks again for watching, everyone.